Hello everyone. The next module we are going to study, that is the module 5, measurement of circuit parameters. So very importantly, let me discuss. So what do you understand by the circuit parameter? So circuit parameters means those element of a circuit which is present. Means whatever the circuit you are having, there will be mainly three parameters. Whatever the circuit, it may be your light circuit, fan circuit, or whatever the circuit, whatever the electrical equipments are there, but there are mainly three basic parameters. That is, first one, resistor, inductor, and capacitor. That is resistor, inductor, or capacitor, whose property is known as resistance, inductance, and capacitance. Now we have to measure the various values of resistance, capacitance and inductances. Okay, so before going to the next topic, first of all, try to understand what is resistance. We already know the definition of a resistance. Means resistance is a property of a resistor, and which unit is in ohm. The next thing is resistance is nothing but the capacity to resist the flow of current, right? Resistance is the property of the resistor, which is the which will resist the flow of electric current. So there are two ways to classify the resistance. First one, according to the nature of the supply. According to the nature of the supply, we can have the DC resistance and the AC resistance. When, but already we know the resistor does not have any polarity. The current can pass to and fro from the resistor. Okay, but depending upon the circuit, whatever the supply we are going to provide, the amount of the resistance will change. For the DC circuit, it will obey the simple Ohm's law, that is I versus V, so that R equals to V equals to IR. So R equals to V by I. We can easily determine the DC resistance. But there are some special effects in the AC circuit. That is, first one is skein effect and the second one is proximity effect. Depending upon the proximity effect and the skein effect, the effective resistance, let's try to understand, the effective resistance of the resistor will increase. That's why the AC resist, there are two type of resistance. First one is a DC resistance and second one is a AC resistance, where the effective resistance of the resistor will change depending upon the supply. I am repeatedly saying the effective resistance of the resistor. Okay. Now, when we need to measure the actual value of the resistance, which we what we need to measure the actual value of the resistance. For that, we need to choose the proper method. That's why to choose the proper method, or for to choose the to measure the actual value of the resistance, there are mainly three type of resistances. So depending upon the value of the resistance, there are three type of resistance. First one, low resistance. Second one, medium resistance. And third one is high resistance. Low resistance means whose value is lesser than 1 ohm. That is the resistance of a conductor. Most importantly, the resistance of a conductor means where the resistance is lesser than 1 ohm is known as low resistance. For example, the resistance of series winding of a DC series generator, resistance of armature winding of a generator, R square resistance, anything. So in a simple way, the resistance of a conductor. Now, the medium resistance is considered as whatever the resistance we are using in our day-to-day life. That is, the range is from 1 ohm to 0.1 mega ohm. Okay, the resistance belongs to from 1 ohm to 0.1 mega ohm is we consider as the medium resistance. For example, the resistance of the field winding of a shunt generator, okay, and the resistance of the long transmission lines. Already you have studied long transmission, medium transmission, short transmission lines. That is the resistance of a transmission lines and also known as medium resistance. The next one and the last one is the high resistance. So the resistance value of the insulator, which should be more than 1 mega ohm. That is the resistance of 0.1 mega ohm is known as high resistance. Okay. So next we will consider the measurement of low resistance. So the measurement of low resistance can be done by three ways. First one, Kelvin's bridge. Second one is the derivation from the Kelvin's bridge, that is Kelvin's double bridge. And the third one is simple voltmeter ammeter method. But in our syllabus, and the most effective way to measure the low resistance is, and the most effective way to measure the low resistance is Kelvin's double bridge method. Okay. So in a Kelvin double bridge, this is the circuit diagram of the Kelvin double bridge. What are there? First of all, it is nothing but a simple bridge construction. Try to understand. There are specially four resistors, that is capital P, capital Q, small p and small q. First one is the capital P, capital Q, small p, small q. This measure prepared the four arms. Means there are two set of arms, one with the resistance capital P and capital Q, and the other resistances small p and small q. So, and here the capital R is the unknown resistance and H is the standard resistance, which is also variable. Capital R is the unknown load resistance and capital S is the standard resistance, the value we can vary to balance the load, to balance the bridge. Here, small r represent the contact resistance between the unknown resistance and the standard resistance whose, whose, whose whose value need to calculate, also need to eliminate, because as we are going to measure the low resistance, also we need to measure the resistance of the conductors or the resistance of the connecting wire. Okay. Now for the measurement, we make the ratio P, capital P by capital Q equal to the small p by small q, and hence the balance bridge is formed, leading to null detection of the deflection of the galvanometer. So in the balance bridge, there should not be any current flowing through the galvanometer. So in that situation, what will happen? The voltage across the terminal A and D. Okay, try to understand. The voltage across the terminal A and D should be equal to the voltage across the terminal AMC. Or similarly, also we can say the voltage across the terminal B and D should be equal to the voltage across the terminal B, N and C. Okay, so those things need to keep in mind. Those are formed for the required for the null detection of the galvanometer. Okay, now here is the derivation. So what we can say, that is EAD is equal to the EMC. That is okay, AMC. That is EAD is equal to the EAMC. So that is, from there we can, and by the voltage division rule, we can find that is the EAD is nothing but the voltage across the terminal, across the resistance capital P, and the voltage in the terminal AMC is equal to the voltage drop across the resistance capital R and small p, we are just finding out the voltages, and by that capital P by Q is equal to small p by Q. That's why finally we can get the equation capital R equals to capital P by Q into S. So capital P and capital Q, it should be the known, and capital S is known. Then easily, and there is a null detection by using the formula, that is capital R is equals to P by Q into S. We can easily find the resistance of the load resistance, that is capital R is equals to capital P by Q into S. So from here you can conclude that the low resistance can be measured using the Kelvin double bridge, or the Kelvin double bridge used to measure the low resistance. This can be in 1 mark short question. Okay.